Happy New Year. It is 2026. Literally cannot believe the words coming out of my mouth. 2026. Do you know when I started my CA journey in 2018, 2026 felt like it was a world away. Like, oh my word, CA 2025. What do you mean? Like, that's so far away. And literally, I went like this, and now we're in 2026. In 2016, I had dropped out of university to go and work in Thailand to teach English online. I had no idea what to do with my life. And isn't it just so incredible how much can actually change in 10 years? So if you're feeling a little bit lost, that's absolutely okay. Everything works out exactly as it's meant to. Sometimes we have to do a little bit of a side journey, a little bit of a side step, take a off the beaten track approach, but you will end up exactly where you are meant to be. Okay, so what are we talking about in this video? Well, we are currently sitting over here, 2nd of January. Okay, and I know exactly what a lot of you are thinking. Maybe you took a little bit of a break between Christmas and New Year, and that's absolutely okay. Remember, if you've just finished PGDA, the whole of PGDA is meant to equip you with the knowledge and the skills that you need to pass the IAC. That is the big end goal of PGDA, is to get you through IAC. So if you took some time off, that's fine. You probably needed it. It's probably going to come in handy. Okay, it's probably going to give you the little bit of a push that you need to get yourself to the finish line for IAC. But I want to challenge you. A lot of you might be thinking, it's fine. I'll start on Monday. So I'm just going to take it easy. Okay, I'm going to chill for Saturday, Sunday, start on Monday. But we don't need a Monday to start. In fact, you can start tonight. My current time here is 3 p.m. You can start tonight, or you can start tomorrow morning. And when I say start, I don't mean we are now going full throttle. We are doing 3 exam papers a day. We are studying for 8 hours nonstop. I do not mean that. I mean just start. Just do at least one. Okay? At least one topic, at least 1 hour, at least one principle, at least one question, at least one paper, whatever your one looks like, just do at least one. So if it was me, I would start small because I want to hack my brain. I want to hack the reward center in my brain. So I'd start small. I would maybe do one question. So when I say one question, I'm going to say, okay, I'm only going to do 50 marks. That is what I am aiming for tomorrow. That's it. That's all I want to achieve tomorrow. So I wake up tomorrow morning, have my cup of coffee. The other thing to hack is to not open social media. Because once you open social media, I'm speaking for myself here, it's like a bottomless pit of scrolling and you can't break away, and you've got that anxiety building in the back of your mind where you're like, okay, I really need to stop, but you can't stop. And then it's 3 hours later and you feel terrible about yourself and you say, okay, it's fine, I'll just try again tomorrow. And then tomorrow the same thing happens. Okay, so we're not going to open social media. We're going to wake up, we're going to have our coffee, we're going to get straight to it. Okay, now how do you decide what 50 marks you are going to do? So if you're doing a board course, you would have a board course file. That board course file probably has a very nice index of all the questions and what topics they cover. So it will say something like ITC, June 2024, paper 3, question 1A, and it'll tell you that it spoke to valuations, just as an example. I don't know them out of my head that well, but it would probably say something like that. Okay, so you are going to go through that index and you're going to say, okay, cool. I know from PGDA my strengths are. Okay, so that's kind of like the preamble to finding the question that you need to do, is you need sort of like a traffic light system. Okay, so we're going to have our red, our yellow, and our green. And of course, we can fight about whether it's yellow or orange, but that is a debate for another day. Just like South Africans can fight with the rest of the world on whether it's called a robot or a traffic light. Okay, so we're going to set up a little bit of a traffic light system, and this is going to be informed by your struggle areas during PGDA. Now, listen to me very carefully because saying, accounting, financial accounting is my struggle area, and putting that under your red quadrant over here, let's just get the red pen. So saying, red is FINAC, green is tax, yellow is auditing. No, 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 no. You will know based on the examinable pronouncements, which are also available on SAICA's website. Here, I've even shown it to you. If you literally just Google SAICA IAC, it's going to open a page like this. And you'll see if you scroll down, it's got examinable pronouncements. So here's the accounting one, here's the taxation one. So if you open that up, you'll be able to see exactly what they want from you. And you can use this as a way to set up your traffic light system. Okay, so as an example, we have got income tax and we look at the normal tax framework, and maybe you go, oof, normal tax framework specifically for individuals, I'm really bad at that one. Okay, so that's what you're going to put underneath your red list. So you're going to say, I did really badly in that during PGDA, so I'm going to put here normal tax framework. Okay. Then maybe you take a look at the accounting examinable pronouncements, and we take a look. We've got IFRS 13, we've got IAS 7, IAS 8, IAS 12, IAS 21. Oof, IAS 21 is such a tough one. I'm also just going to put that under my red list. But then I see, IAS 7, okay, cash flows, I'm pretty good at that. So I'm going to put that under the green list, okay, because the green list is like, okay, I have passed this question before, and if I have some time left, then I can do some practice relating to IAS 7. Okay, then you take a look at your tax and you go, okay, cool, what else? What else? Let's have a look. We've got all these things that are not examinable, so happy days. Okay, we've got withholding tax on interest. Okay, maybe withholding tax and maybe donations tax. Donations tax, I feel a little bit iffy about that. So I'm going to put that under my yellow list. So I'm going to put here donations tax and maybe also substantive procedures. Okay, because we don't want to forget about auditing and we also don't want to forget about ManFin. So it's going to take a little bit of time to set this up, but if you still have your old course outlines, if you have the examinable pronouncements, you can use that to set up your traffic light system. So as an example, here is the course outline for IAS from 2025, and I can now use this to also maybe mark on here what my traffic light system is going to look like. So if I work through these course outlines, the module topics, I can see, capital budgeting. Yes, I am a green for capital budgeting. IFRS 13, IFRS 13, I'm definitely a red for that. I haven't touched that in a while. And then for King, I think I'm actually a green for King, probably because I lecture it. And then we've got provisional tax and lump sums. Ooh, okay, I'm a bit of a yellow for that. Okay, I did just watch my two-part system video this morning, but I do think I need a little bit more in terms of provisional tax and employees tax, but I'm okay with lump sums. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go on to the next one. Okay, capital budgeting. I've discovered that I'm okay with that. IFRS 3, I feel pretty all right with that one. Okay, I also want to spend a little bit of time there. Companies Act, sheesh, got that in the bag. Probably again because I lecture. Auditing. Okay, so this is how I'm setting up my traffic light system. I'm either using my examinable pronouncements and my course outlines for auditing and ManFin, or I'm just using all of my course outlines to look at all the various topics that were covered during the year that I could be tested on at an IAC level, and I'm using that to set up what my studying is going to look like. Right, so once you have set up your little traffic light system, you can now go through the index of your board course file, or we can do it the long way and kind of go through a few different exam papers and sort of pick out what we're going to do. Okay, so if I take a look, let's start with Jan question 1, paper 1. Let's take a look at what they've examined here. Okay, so I can look at the required normal tax payable. Oof, I said that was a tough one. So that's going to be something I'm going to do tomorrow, is I'm going to do normal tax. Okay, and this is coming from Jan 25, paper 1. Great. What else does that examine? Okay, income tax and VAT, income tax implications for a company, and then VAT payable. Okay, it comes to 59 marks, but essentially I think I'm going to do required A to D. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm doing required A to D tomorrow morning. And that is all that I'm attempting to do. And maybe on Sunday you go, okay, it's a Sunday, I want to go to church in the morning, or I want to sleep in a little bit, day of rest and all of that, so I can start my new week nice and fresh because it's now crunch time. Okay, I've got like 3 weeks basically until I'm writing this exam. So maybe on Sunday you just keep it to 20 marks. Okay, so you go and do the same exercise where you say, okay, cool, what's covered in paper 2? Let's have a look. And I'm just going to do 20 marks. Okay, so I'm just going to do, okay, that's sales, correcting journal entries. Okay, I think I'm just going to do that one because accounting, I'm feeling a bit iffy about it. I focused on tax the day before, so now I want to do a little bit of accounting. So I'm going to do correcting journal entries. So now for Sunday, I'm just going to focus on, get my pen, because maybe I'm not so good at IFRS 15. So I'm going to do 2025 Jan paper 2 required E. Okay, because I'm only aiming for 20 marks. Okay, more or less, approximately. And then if I feel good after doing just that one required, then I'm going to do a few more requireds because I'm hacking the dopamine center in my brain. I'm going, okay, let me set small goals because at least I can achieve small goals and it's going to help me capitalize on that momentum because I'm going to feel good. Because once I've done this required, I tick it off and I'm like, okay, but I feel like I could do a little bit more. So then maybe I do another required and I bring my Sunday studying forward to Saturday and I do a little bit more because now I've hacked the reward center. Whereas if you are going to do something that's and it comes to about 8 hours a day of studying, if you do not achieve this 8 hours a day of studying, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have a dopamine crash because you're going to think about, 8 hours, so productive. And you're going to get to the end of the day. You probably haven't even gotten to half of that amount and you are immediately going to crash. It's going to kill your momentum. So set smaller goals for yourself and hack the dopamine center in your brain. Because once you complete the small goal, you're going to want to keep going because now you are getting rewarded. Your brain is releasing dopamine, the reward chemical, and now you're getting amped for this. And then tomorrow when you wake up, you're going to feel even more amped to study because you actually ticked off everything on your to-do list the day before. You can also revisit like old tutorials that you've done, old exam papers, okay, whatever resources you want to use. This is just an example of what I would do if I was writing the exam at the moment. Okay, so we are doing a traffic light system to figure out some direction. Red is I absolutely do have to spend some time with this. Yellow is yes, I need to spend a little bit of time with this. Green is if I don't get to it, I'll be okay. Okay, because the reality is, and this is something that you need to let go of, the reality is you are not going to be able to revise an entire year's worth of content across 4 modules in 3 weeks. Believe me. So you need to direct your studying. Okay, set up a timetable for yourself and focus on achieving small things. Not 8 hours a day of studying, but just 2 hours. At least one. At least one. And I promise you, those small, dedicated efforts will amount to so much more than trying to cram very low quality studying into a lot of hours. And I know it's so cliche, but quality over quantity. Okay, so that's how we are going to structure studying for the IAC over these next few weeks. And no, we are not starting on Monday. We are starting tomorrow. Okay, we don't need a new week or a new year or even a new day to start over, because every single hour is a new opportunity to try again. So good luck. I'll see you for another video soon.